attempting to make us speak their language.
Would you use alternate pronouns?
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
You've accused him of abusing students by not using the pronouns they want to be addressed by.
That's how I see it, absolutely.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Thank you for joining us.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
September 27th, 2016. A Canadian psychology professor uploads a simple PowerPoint presentation to YouTube.
I'm making this video because I don't really know what else to do. The changes to the law scare me because they put into the legal substructure of the culture certain assumptions about basic human nature that not only do I believe to be untrue, I think they're also dangerous and ideologically motivated.
Bill C-16 would enshrine in law that biological sex was not a binary, but rather a gender spectrum. Gender identity is each person's individual experience of gender. It is their sense of being a woman, a man, or anywhere along the gender spectrum.
There's an idea that there's a gender spectrum, but I don't think that that's a valid idea. I don't think there's any evidence for it. Biological sexuality is ancient. It's hundreds of millions of years old. And it's binary because there's two forms of biological sex. I would say to my fellow Canadian citizens, you guys better wake up. Our rights to free speech are under assault, and you better wake up because it's not pretty and it's not good. The university has received communications from individual student groups and employee groups that find my comments to be unacceptable, emotionally disturbing, and painful.
Despite his employer, he takes his fight directly to the university campus.
People are attempting to make us speak their language. That's not something that I'm willing to do. Transphobe! 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 It's about language that's designed to control our freedom of expression.
Are you currently afraid for your job?
I see that I'm taking the path of least resistance. And that's how frightened I am of the alternative. And it's real.
The mainstream media is unsure what to make of him or his ideas.
Why are you against the use of alternate pronouns?
I'm against the use of
So would you use alternate pronouns? And why not?
Because I don't believe that other people have the right to determine what language I use.
October 27th, 2016, he appears on Canadian public television to defend his anti-pronoun stance.
I think we really have to add some reasonableness to this discussion, actually clearly articulate what the provision does.
Sheldon, let's put this graphic up. Pronoun misuse may become actionable through the human rights tribunals and the courts. And the remedies? Jail time is not one of them. Jordan, you're not going to go to jail if you keep this up. Do you find that reassuring?
What if I don't pay the fine? As you know, the University of Toronto sent me 2 warning letters, right? And so I think they decided that the claim that I was making was correct.
I don't agree with why Dr. Peterson has been asked to stop abusing students on campus.
To stop doing what?
Abusing students.
I see.
And other members of our learning community who do deserve respect and do deserve to be able to work and learn and contribute to society.
Is it tantamount to violence?
Yes,
How about hate
absolutely.
speech? Is it tantamount to hate
Yes,
speech?
of course. It's hate speech
Fine,
to tell
that's-
someone that you won't refer to them in a way that recognizes their humanity and dignity.
Mary, let me get you in on this at this point.
Sure. Somehow there's a cabal of trans activists who have so much power that they are going to pull out the critical Jenga piece of the Western canon, right? I mean, basically, Jordan is arguing that it's essentially a Marxist plot.
Has she accurately characterized where you're coming from?
Is it a cabal of radical left-wingers? Yes, it's a cabal of radical left-wingers.
For a decade, Jordan Peterson had been a familiar face on TV Ontario. His public debut had been his 2004 educational series, Maps of Meaning.
Adopting a belief system disciplines your mind. The alternative is far worse, chaos. I mean, part of the reason that the Germans preferred Hitler to chaos was because they felt that the order that Hitler promised was preferable to the chaos that was likely to ensue in its absence. What is it about chaos that's so terrifying?
He had later appeared on TVO's Big Ideas, broadcast December the 10th, 2006.
The way the world looks to you depends on what you want. What do you see when you're looking at the world? What's that? It's a Dalmatian. There's the head. There's the leg. It's there, right? How many people don't see it? Well, is it there or not? Remember when the towers fell? What did you see? Why did you have to look at it 50 times? Well, because you couldn't believe it. What did that mean? It meant that the event was so complex that you couldn't perceive it. You had to look at it over and over and over and over because you didn't know what you were seeing. And you can't account for everything. So there's always something lurking around from underneath. And if you go and mess with that thing, then all hell breaks loose. It happens to you if you're well and then you're not. It happens to you if you're dependent on a family member and they die. It's the unrevealed complexity of the world that manifests itself suddenly, that wreaks havoc on our little paradises. Just because things are going well doesn't mean you've accounted for everything.
He had developed his ideas while he was an associate professor at Harvard University in the 90s.
This is how the world is conceived of from the mythological perspective.
He claimed that the dragon was the archetype of chaos that disrupts the established order. And that dragons, in fact, existed. Dragons were the dreadful truths which threatened an individual's ideal future. Mythological stories were models of how to act bravely in chaotic times.
The symbol that they used was the same symbol they used to represent the chaos that predated the construction of the world. The meaning of something is its implication for behavior. You have a belief system, that's one thing you need. But you also need a process by which your belief system is updated. Too much order is a catastrophe, and so is too much chaos. This is Tiamat, mother of all the gods. Marduk, he closes her in a net and cuts her into pieces, and out of the pieces he makes the world. He creates order from chaos.
he completes his first book, Maps of Meaning. Some critics praise its originality and psychological insight. Others criticize its impenetrability.
I wrote a book called Maps of Meaning, The Architecture of Belief. And that took me 15 years to write. I wrote 3 hours a day, basically, for almost that whole time. And it's correspondingly difficult to read.
Obviously, you are not planning to spend 15 years writing the next one.
He had become a frequent guest on Steve Pakin's The Agenda, which was moving with the times and uploading its content to YouTube.
We have an indigenous population called the Na'vi. They are very hard to kill.
Jordan, you study the psychology of myths, and I'd like to know what myths you see in this motion picture.
I mean, it's the invasion myth, right? It's like, well, we're the people who were the people, really, because most tribal names mean the people. And the force that's invading us is basically some version of dark and satanic.
He was inspired to start his own channel, which he promoted on his new Twitter account. The engagement there was abysmal. But on Quora, he was a viral hit.
I started experimenting with a website called Quora. 50 answers to different questions, and one of them was, does anyone have a good list of rules for living? And I wrote 41 rules for living. It has accrued something in the neighborhood of 500 upvotes, which puts it in the top 1 or 2% of all the answers that have been posted on Quora. And lots of my other answers have nowhere near that kind of, popular success.
Try to make one room in your house as beautiful as possible. I've been to your home. Tell me, which of your rooms in your house you deem to be the most beautiful one?
It's a small room. Then in that room, there are probably 15 paintings of different sizes. Sometimes people are shocked when they come into the house because I've got paintings of Lenin. It's not like I don't know he was an absolutely murderous tyrant, but I want to understand it.
With the help of his family, he answers a personality test.
Strongly agree is 5. Strongly disagree is 1. Change my mood a lot. Often, I'd say yes.
Yeah, probably 4.
He can be deeply immersed on the telephone, and then all of a sudden he can say, "Where's my wallet?" and,
Okay, 5.
and then get out on the street and complain about the car.
Keep my emotions under control.
3.
Okay.
No way, that's
Is that actually
come
what
on,
you
do
think,
it.
though?
Really?
You have no idea how irritated I actually am.
In 2016, he experiences a rapid weight loss. It was inspired by his daughter, Michaela.
I have depression, and that makes everything a lot harder, and some things impossible. There are also a lot of things I'm really happy about.
Michaela's depression continues for years. Until one day she discovers a miracle diet.
Surprisingly, the depression lifted in November for the first time ever.
This past November?
Yeah.
Because you changed your diet?
Yeah. Went down to chicken and beef and green vegetables. And the other health problems I was trying to figure out got better. I cut the antidepressants down in half. I went down a little bit more, and then I stopped taking them, and I felt fantastic.
Everything, not just for the depression, but for all of the other health effects as well.
Yep.
December, I reintroduced soy. Didn't stop crying for 5 or 6 days. It just hit me, and it
you
lasted.
Think it was the soy?
It was definitely the soy.
Jordan joins Michaela in her carnivore diet and is amazed at the results.
I lost a lot of weight and a lot of girth, probably because I was experiencing a substantial amount of inflammation. I have this condition called peripheral uveitis, which is an inflammation of the bottom part of the eye, and it produces floaters. The floaters in my eyes disappeared, and I cut my antidepressants in half.
His suit started to fit well again, just in time for his public stand against pronouns.
I don't even know where I'm supposed to meet people.
He feels that he has the authority to dictate the gender identities of his students, which we are here to say that he does not.
People who were there were like raw that day. Everyone who attended that rally was putting themselves in a very vulnerable position.
Free speech is the mechanism by which we keep our society functioning. Woo! It's as a consequence of free speech and the ability to speak that people can put their finger on problems, articulate what those problems are, solve them, and come to a consensus. And we risk losing that. With Bill C-16 and its surrounding legislation, it's the first time I've seen in our legislative history where people are attempting to make us speak their language.
The news channel The Rebel had been started in 2015 by a former lawyer. Rebel media coverage wins Peterson the admiration of thousands of new fans.
Just express my profound gratitude for what you're doing.
Hey,
I really respect what you're doing.
Are you experiencing oppression? Not smiling, bitch. What you want?
The explosive protest footage ignites a storm of controversy over pronouns and free speech.
They did grab me and pull me in and try to push me. There was a great up there with a lot.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that happened.
There's no reason to be
I didn't see anything.
It's time to stand up against this movement. It's moving from absurd to dangerous.
Today I'm going to be talking about why I love Professor Jordan B. Peterson.
But this U of T professor saying, you know what, I've fucking seen and heard enough, and I'm no longer going to go along to get along.
I don't believe in the pronoun stuff. I'm not going to call you they, and I'm not going to call you them.
They don't like being called he, she, him, her. They've invented new ones like Z. I'm not joking. Look it up.
Peterson gives this impassioned speech. It's amazing. I put a letterbox filter on it, and I think it looks incredible. He looks like an actor. It's like a scene from a movie.
He is invited onto the biggest anti-PC channels on YouTube.
Professor Peterson, what the hell's going on? What is this?
The new rise again of Marxist doctrine.
They've gone so far so quickly.
Yeah.
It was like, when we have same-sex marriage, what do? I don't know. Where do trannies take a dump? And let's make that the next civil rights movement.
Have you noticed, by the way, that these waves of professor purging tend to happen around Halloween? Is that a coincidence?
Well, I hope it's just a coincidence, but you never know about something like that. I mean, it is when the monsters come out, after all.
He is condemned by the left, but warmly embraced by the right.
I have my Louder with Crowder mug at home and use it frequently.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you do it. Enhances the aroma and flavor by 24%.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yes.
So you absolutely have an ally in me. And good luck. I have a feeling our side is coming around.
I hope so.
Thank you for everything that you're doing, and I'm sure it hasn't been easy for you.
Is there something we can do to help you?
Yeah, you could do what you're doing. You can help people become stronger and better individuals, and that's the right answer to most problems.
Yeah.
Instead of busying yourself with radical social change, you build your own character and get your life together and tell the truth and aim high and all of those things. And that's the best way to help everyone, including me.
At the end of 2016, he makes a video titled A New Year's Letter to the World. following a 4-week absence from YouTube.
Apologies for my prolonged absence. I've been dealing over the last few weeks with my somewhat shaky current health. Here at the dawn of the new year, in these perilous times.
He believes that 2017 will be his last year of freedom.
The central problem of human beings isn't religion. It's tribalism.
The Peterson drama has done real harm to real people on campus. I'm non-binary and transgender, and I know how it's felt to be on the U of T campus for the last month.
The problem of tribalism is cooperation. Because cooperation is what allows us to exist as bounded groups. A group is a collective, cooperatively aiming at something. It can't be aimed at nothing, because nothing cannot unite.
People have been making complaints about your behavior.
Yes, I understand that.
Yes.
You've accused him of abusing students by not using the pronouns they want to be addressed by.
That's how I see it, absolutely.
To those destined to inhabit places too chaotic or too rigid for the human spirit to tolerate. But the West is in grave danger of losing its way. The negative consequences of this can hardly be overstated. A close reading of 20th century history indicates, as nothing else can, the horrors that accompany loss of faith in the idea of the individual. It is only the individual, after all, who suffers. The group does not suffer. Thus, the reality of the individual must be regarded as primary. If suffering is to be regarded seriously, Happy New Year, and best wishes to you all.
He is invited to a free speech debate at a nearby university. The event sells out.
This is a peaceful demonstration!
I'll fucking go anyways. Who is the risk management office?
The event is cancelled due to security concerns.
Yep. Bye. Scum rats.
He decides to attend the event regardless.
So you're standing there in front of these people that were there to hear you talk, and there's a group of kids completely disrupting what you're doing, and they allowed this all to happen.
Mm-hmm. Air horns as well. Air horns actually happen to be quite loud.
Play some of this, Jamie, so we can hear how crazy it is.
Fuck white supremacy! Fuck white supremacy! No platform for fascists! Who is your beef with? What is your issue? You like the Dutch? This is just so stupid.
This woman is Faith Goldie, another young female reporter from Rebel Media.
A lot of the people who were protesting were standing behind a hammer and sickle banner. I went up to try to talk to a couple of them, but when you look at people who are in that state of mind, they're not looking at you as if you're a human being.
Listen,
You can hold that, but if you're definitely with it, I will take it away from you. You understand? Not kidding.
Freedom of speech, it applies to air horns too.
No, it doesn't apply to
yes,
definitely.
It does.
So I'm not kidding. I will take it.
Your words
don't
hurt
honk
my
me again.
ears. My snowflake ears are hurt by your hard words.
Complex things manifest themselves in very particular locations, and this just happens to be the location that this is manifesting itself in. It's the first piece of Canadian legislation that's ever been put forward that actually requires people to use a particular set of words. The standard human fetus has a female morphology. It doesn't matter whether it's XX or XY from a chromosomal perspective, and then it's transformed into a male morphology with testosterone. Yeah! Right, so... yeah! So, the reason I'm telling you this is because...
Save your breath, we got all night.
The reason that I'm telling you this is because
Professor Jordan B. Peterson made national headlines last fall for refusing to use genderless pronouns. His viewpoint caused controversy, but also gained him supporters. Now, to subsidize his production costs, he's turned to the crowdfunding site Patreon.
Jordan Peterson joins me now in studio. Good to see you again. Thanks for being here. You know, $50,000 a month is a lot of money. Were you surprised by that?
I'm staggered daily by that. Of course, it's absolutely overwhelming.
And that money goes to?
At the moment, one of the things that's helped funding is I'm doing a series on the psychological significance of the biblical stories. Well, thank you all very much for coming. It's really shocking to me that you don't have anything better to do on a Tuesday night. No, seriously though, it is.
Peterson lectures outside of the university to sold-out crowds.
Now, the Bible is a comedy. It has a happy ending. Everyone lives. There's a heaven. Many people wrote it over a vast stretch of time. The initial formulation of the idea of God was an attempt to abstract out the ideal. In the beginning was the Word. That's the Logos, actually. And the Logos is embodied in the figure of Christ.
Peterson's faith strengthens him and gives him motivation to go on.
You know, the crucifix represents the center of being. You need to accept that suffering. It's by accepting it that you transcend it.
But when he lectures, he is still dogged by protesters.
Noisy, ill-informed, historically ignorant agitators shake paper on sticks. The idea that you have enough wisdom to determine how society should be reconstructed, let's call that a bad idea.
Sure.
We've released an investigative report on the alt-right media outlet Rebel Media.
In putting on events with Jordan Peterson, they are promoting movements against equality for queer and trans people.
You haven't done anything. You don't know anything about history. You haven't read anything. And you're sitting in the absolute lap of luxury.
If Peterson is not going to provide an environment to trans students where they can reasonably expect to be free from discrimination and harassment, then the university administration needs to do something to intervene.
If you want a controversial speaker on campus, just have it at 7 in the morning. You won't get a protester within 50 yards of it because they'll still be sleeping off last night's pot and alcohol-induced hangover.
Peterson's critics noted his friendly reception on the far right. He had appeared on a white nationalist podcast.
There are a lot of white men who are really, really fed up.
We absolutely have a right to deport all illegal residents by any means necessary, including at the point of a gun.
What would you say to them?
Be careful of stepping into the trap that's being laid for you.
And also on far-right political channel, Sargon of Akkad.
If we don't up our birth rates, the Muslims will outbreed us, and they don't give a shit.
Marxist, postmodernist, gender ideologues in academia. They're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Free Domain Radio with Stefan Molyneux, too.
You know, I've spoken against white nationalism, but I'm an empiricist.
America within a generation will be South Africa.
This is the fascinating thing for me, why it seems so hard for the West to rouse itself to defend its own countries and institutions.
Above all, critics criticize his cozy relationship with rebel media.
The bill adds gender identity and gender expression to protected categories under the Canadian Human Rights Act. Be on the lookout for governments or other organizations that limit what you're allowed to say. It's a rise of the Freudian Oedipal mother, so overprotective that she destroys the autonomy of her children.
There's one ingredient baked into most of our foods that might be causing the uptick in girly men. Soy.
Rebel media railed against all that was progressive, whether it be feminism, refugees, or soy.
The first photograph of the new Ghostbusters. They're chicks now.
The only kids I saw at the camp are over there being interviewed. That's the mainstream media, friends. That is the mainstream media.
How many times you're in a cab? Okay, are you going to Third Avenue? And you're like, Third Avenue?
Am I gonna call for a crusade? You're damn right.
Rebel News appeals to a younger, edgier audience, the alt-right. The alt-right revives far-right politics with a subculture of memes, podcasts, and YouTube videos.
We're the ones making a splash. We're the ones people want to talk to. We're the ones people fear. And that shows our power.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Still, Peterson denies the very existence of the alt-right.
I'm not a real believer in the existence of the alt-right because I don't think it's not a political movement, and it's certainly not a political movement with power.
Peterson regards 2017 as the year of uprising against the powers that be. He joins a war on the side of the Kekistanis against the normies.
Do I believe in the power of Lord Kek?
They claim to be an oppressed people from an embattled nation called Kekistan. They call themselves Kekistanis.
Praise Kek and read!
It's the use of archetypal imagery, and archetypal imagery has tremendous power. Kek is a manifestation of an archetype of chaos.
Normies, get out! For far too long, normies have oppressed the Kekistani.
What is a normie, you ask?
Regular people, know what I'm saying? People who just don't seem to know how memes work.
Americans who oppose Trump, voted for Hillary, and trust mainstream media. Things the Kek religion has declared war on.
Fuck is going on?
That is the question, and that's the question you asked me, and my answer was I don't know. They used this symbol, K-E-K, to replace LOL. K-E-K in Korean means LOL. Then people found out that Kek was an Egyptian god, and he was a frog, and he was between categories. Sort of like a transsexual, by the way. And so now they have this Republic of Kek, and it's ruled by this Egyptian god, whose name is Kek, who's a frog.
Hold on, go back. There's a frog with a Make America Great Again hat. It says, those who served in the meme war.
We're in a period of chaos, because the outcome is uncertain.
Well, this seems to be truly embracing chaos. I mean, just that statement, the frog, the Donald Trump thing with the hat on.
Peterson becomes a mythical hero to the trolls and publicly embraces the Kekistani movement.
I frequently come across people claiming that I sound a fair bit like Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog here. Clean up your room. The Kwakwaka'wakw people are a tribal people on the west coast of Vancouver Island, and they have a remarkable artistic tradition, which I've been very interested in. And I've had a lot of work done by Charles. He made this beautiful frog hat for me. I asked Charles about the significance of the frog in Kwakwaka'wakw mythology, and he said the frog is a harbinger of dangerous times, because if anything pollutes the waters, then the frogs disappear. Frogs have very sensitive skin, and so they pick up anything that has gone wrong, and it interferes with their ability to reproduce and to live. And so I would say that as spokes frog, I'm announcing that there's something polluted about the water in which we're all swimming, and that we better clean it up, or there's going to be trouble. There's a bit of synchronicity for you.
We're the ones people want to talk to. We're the ones people fear.
We're risking our lives for our people, for our ancestors, for our future. That's what we're doing.
Hundreds gather in Virginia to protest the removal of a statue of Robert E. Lee.
So last night at the Torch Walk, there were hundreds and hundreds of us.
White lives matter! White lives matter!
We're united, we're organized, we're brave. We can go and do things in real life.
Charlottesville, Virginia. This is where violent clashes have broken out between white nationalists and counter-protests there.
Alt-righters follow a dress code of white polos and khakis. Asmodor hosts the Crypto Report, a popular alt-right podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Crypto Report. We have a guest that's probably going to surprise everyone, but we are certainly thrilled to have her, Faith Goldie of Rebel Media. How are you doing, Faith?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I'm thrilled.
Go home! You have no testosterone! Go home! You have no testosterone!
Among the crowd is the world's first alt-right terrorist. A 20-year-old schizophrenic with a history of violence.
These people are all calling this guy a terrorist and saying that terrorism is rising and all this. I think this guy is probably a Jew. This is a bizarre thing that he did, driving that car into those people.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
Cars just ran down all of these people. Oh my God! We got hit by a car!
One victim dies instantly. 8 others sustain crippling injuries.
A lot of people got hit. That does not look good. It does not look good.
Faith Goldie appears on the Crypto Report shortly after witnessing the murder.
Everything that has been believed in by this society have been completely torn asunder.
Amen.
And we finally have a movement that is willing to stand up and say it and articulate it clearly and intelligently.
This is America. This is the new Berlin. We have been completely steeped in all that is debaucherous, degenerate, pornographic, salacious, self-indulgent, and repugnant.
I like Faith Goldie, how can you not? But then I saw the news that she had gone on a podcast from the Daily Stormer, and it was just too far.
Goldie is fired from her job at Rebel Media, and Peterson is caught in the fallout.
You criticized Faith Goldie for being non-critical. Well, I really listened carefully to Faith's interview.
Cultural Marxists own the media. We know that they own academia, etc.
It was incumbent on her as a journalist to ask at least 1 or 2 probing questions, given the nature of the people, the known nature, and the fact that she knew the nature of the people that she was talking to.
Goldie is removed from an event at which both she and him had been due to speak.
I understand that Faith Goldie was removed from the original August panel because of her podcast with the controversial Daily Stormer. I want to understand why Faith Goldie was removed from the event simply for associating with identitarians, and what do each of the panelists believe or agree with that decision?
That's an excellent question.
The alt-right turn hostile.
Him disinviting Faith Goldie from a free speech panel was kind of a bitch move.
She was associating with people whose views she should have questioned.
Do you agree with that criticism that you were obligated to ask at least one difficult question?
No, I don't. And I did not see it as my role to launch an inquisition against the Crypto Report.
Is Jordan Peterson a shill?
Maximoff says, thoughts on the Jews. Most of my friends are Jews.
If Jewish individuals hated Christians enough to starve millions of them to death, could the same thing happen today? Could Jewish individuals seek out revenge against places like Europe and Russia that have a history of expelling Jews? Thank you again for your work.
So someone asked me about the Jewish question, right? You know, this guy had an axe to grind, and I thought, there's no goddamn way I'm getting into this at the moment. I said I can't answer that question. I think the whole group identity thing is seriously pathological. I think it's genocidal in its ultimate expression.
He specifically attacks the alt-right when he doesn't need to.
He is what happens when you cross Bill Kristol with L. Ron Hubbard.
I don't think that the Caucasians should revert to being white.
Jewish-controlled opposition. Jordan Peterson is a piece of shit.
Wherever the Nazis went, that was wrong. In case it needs to be said again, We're actually not allied with those people. The Jews have a rich intellectual life and tremendous respect for intellectual pursuits.
The alt-right dismisses Peterson as a racially unenlightened individualist.
Jordan Peterson, so amazing to finally meet you. How about your team plays against my team, Jamichael, Jamarcus, Modular, and Tyrone?
It's not about scoring points, but rather going home and individually washing your penis.
He leads them to a false salvation down the destructive path of individualism.
Jordan Peterson's individualism is obviously insufficient.
In spite of this, the mainstream regard him as in bed with the alt-right.
The Canadian psychologist and academic has been adopted as a hero of the Donald Trump-loving alt-right.
I think he's dangerous because of the sorts of people that he enables.
Is there a similarity between Jordan Peterson and Donald Trump and his followers?
I would say fundamentally, yes.
Here you are, you're trying to send a message that Pepe's cool and the alt-right's cool.
I think it has been misinterpreted.
Richard Spencer wears he's a white supremacist. He wears the Pepe symbol. What is your little
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
It's become adopted by the far right. And here you are holding up a flag like it's a joke.
I don't know what you mean exactly. There were a lot of people lined up. They were doing a lot of things. This was one of the things. It took about 30 seconds. I would also say it's the one thing, it's the one thing that has been photographed that the left in particular has been using against me for the last year, but it was different.
He feels scrutinized by the press, as if on trial and awaiting a verdict.
Belle of the alt-right. How do you feel about that moniker?
I'm actually quite neutral about it now.
But such adversity only strengthens his resolve.
It's incumbent upon those who defend the radical left to decide that you're a Nazi. If you're an unreasonable person, then they don't have to take you seriously. But I am a reasonable person, and you have to take me seriously.
Jordan is a self-styled martyr and a self-styled savior.
Close friend Bernard Schiff pens an article detailing their relationship and eventual falling out. Jordan is fighting to keep the chaos at bay, or so he believes. He is not a free speech warrior. He is a social order warrior. Jordan is emotionally explosive when faced with legitimate criticism. He is erratic. This March, Pankaj Mishra wrote a critique of his book. Jordan's immediate response was a flurry of angry, abusive tweets.
Jordan Peterson and fascist mysticism. It is imperative to ask why this obscure Canadian academic has come to be hailed as the West's most influential public intellectual. You arrogant son of a bitch. And you call me a fascist. You sanctimonious prick. If you were in my room at the moment, I'd slap you happily. You peddler of nasty, underhanded innuendo. You dealer in lies and half-truths.
Jordan is the darling of the alt-right. He has accepted their affection. He should be concerned what the dark desires of the alt-right might be. He could be unwittingly activating them.
I want to ask you what your thoughts are of the article written by Bernard Schiff. I'd like to hear your side of the matter.
Okay, so Bernie Schiff is a friend of mine. although he doesn't see it that way. Well, I'm not saying that to be funny, like that's how I look at it. And it's a loss to me because he was a good friend of mine. I've lost a couple of friends in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's not pleasant.
I wrote this article because I know reasonable people who think there's nothing wrong with Jordan. They've seen him once or they've read part of the book. And I thought it was important for people to have a broader picture of Jordan. There are many different Jordans.
Peterson is asked about the different Jordans in an episode of HBO News Tonight.
Do you feel split at all right now?
Fragmented is more accurate than just split. I'm worried always that I'll make a mistake in what I say. No, impulsive mistake, careless mistake, that I won't be on top of things. I've been worried about that. Almost to the exclusion of everything else for the last 15 months.
One persona is prudent in choosing each word. It hedges and prunes, and science prefers.
Women are paid less than men. Okay, well, then we break it down by age, we break it down by occupation, we break it down by interest, we break it down by personality.
But you're saying basically it doesn't matter if women aren't getting to the top, because that's what's skewing that gender pay gap, isn't it? You're saying it's a
there are
fact of
multiple
life.
reasons for it.
Yeah, but
and
those reasons, why
why
should women put up with those reasons?
It depends on why it's happening. I can give you an example. There's a personality trait known as agreeableness. Agreeable people are compassionate and polite.
So you were saying that women are too agreeable to get the pay rises they deserve?
No, I'm saying that that's one component.
Shouldn't you say to women, rather than being agreeable and not asking for a pay rise, go and ask for a pay rise? Make yourself disagreeable with your boss.
Oh, definitely, there's that. But I also didn't deny it existed. I denied it existed because of gender.
Okay.
See, because I'm very, very, very careful with my words. It accounts for maybe 5% of the variance.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Well,
I'm very glad that I have exercised my freedom of speech.
You get my point. It's like you're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on. And that's fine. More power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and... I'm just trying to work that out. I mean...
Ha, gotcha.
You have got me. You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah. It took a while.
It did, yeah.
It took a while.
The other speaks freely, pays caution no mind, neither frets nor whispers, nor leaves doubt behind.
What women want are dangerous men who are civilized. Here's a question. Can men and women work together in the workplace?
Yes, I do it.
How do you know?
Because I work with a lot of women.
Women don't even like harmless men. They hate them. They like to claw them apart. Sexual harassment in the workplace. Should it stop? That'd be good. Will it? Not at the moment it won't, because we don't know what the rules are. We've introduced women into the political sphere radically over the last 50 years. We have no idea what the consequence of that is going to be. Female orangutans come to the big moon-faced guy for mating purposes. The juveniles have to resort to rape. And if you can't understand that from a human perspective, then you're not bloody well thinking. We don't know what the rules are. Here's a rule. How about no makeup in the workplace?
Why would that be a rule?
Why should you wear makeup in the workplace? Isn't that sexually provocative?
No.
Well, what is it then? What's the purpose of makeup? It's time for conservatives to stop apologizing for being conservatives.
I don't know why.
Why do you make your lips red? Because they turn red during sexual arousal. Why do you put rouge on your cheeks? Same reason.
I mean, look.
How about high heels? They're there to exaggerate sexual attractiveness. That's what high heels do. It seems to me that it's sane women who have to stand up against their crazy sisters and say, look, enough bringing disgrace on us as a gender.
You talked in one of your YouTube interviews about crazy harpy sisters. So is gender equality a myth in your view? Is that something that's just never going to happen?
I think that's silly. I really do.
The Cathy Newman interview becomes a cultural moment, spawning many a meme.
You're saying You're saying, well, that's just a fact. So you're saying, so you're saying,
So what you're saying is...
being rather uncomfortable.
You're saying women are just more... You're saying...
It's wrong. It's not a matter of opinion. It's seriously wrong.
You know, the meme's getting a bit tedious now, in my view, isn't it?
I don't know how many millions of people have watched these things online now, but it's plenty. And so what that also means is I put my finger on something, because who cares what a dim-witted professor from the University of Toronto does with his spare time at midnight? I should have had my 15 minutes of notoriety, if that. But that isn't what happened. I'm still talking to people all over the world about it. I get 100 letters a day, at least. I can't keep up with them.
Peterson's fan base now numbers in the millions.
You've helped me improve my relationship with my father.
Yay.
You've helped me rekindle my faith in religion. You have given me the courage to stand up for my conservative and libertarian beliefs in the classroom.
How's that working out?
Oh, the history teacher's mad.
Yeah?
But, and I just became a lot more aware of all the things that I need to change.
Look around here, man. It's like, what? It's got to be 90% guys in this audience. And I thought, what the hell's going on? It's weird.
After you follow him this much, he sort of becomes like a legendary figure in your mind.
Young subscribers on Patreon ask him their deepest questions about life, love, and happiness.
It isn't that you're trying to quit porn. It's not the right way to think about it. The right way to think about it is that you're trying to figure out how to have a better life.
You hurt yourself across time, and of course you're going to hurt other people as well. So I'm not a big admirer of the casual sex idea. What should I do if my girlfriend isn't satisfying me sexually? How do I get her to progress with me? I do believe that if men don't become consciously dangerous, they become unconsciously dangerous. And so it's much better to become consciously dangerous. And it's something that every man should really aim at. But if she's moved on, and that's serious, then I would say, start going out with other people.
Have you watched Rick and Morty? No, I haven't. Many people have told me to watch Rick and Morty, although they said it's very dark.
He becomes a best-selling author. A veritable publishing phenomenon. 5 million copies of 12 Rules for Life will be sold in its first 2 years alone. He is on top of the world.
Rip it fat.
Okay, so I just breathe
in.
in.
Yeah, breathe in. I got the button. Fat rips. Nice. Get it. Damn, you know how to keep it in. That's a man's ways. Well done.
It's my first time.
Yeah, no, it's very elegant and wonderful.
I've watched a number of your videos, and you're clearly more introverted than Ethan. You're more hesitant to jump into a conversation. You have a fair bit of positive emotion. You smile a lot. Yeah, I thought about slowing down, but I've decided against it.
Please put your hands together for Dr. Peterson.
Maybe YouTube is a Gutenberg revolution because it allows the spoken word to have the same reach as a book. I spent 15 years writing this, about 3 hours a day, every day during that period of time.
Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
Surprising, I've been talking too much lately.
It's an immense honor to introduce two of the foremost intellectuals of our age.
He's been called the most influential public intellectual in the Western world.
These thinkers are spiritual writers addressing the malaise of the soul in our culture.
Here I am, Russell Brand, with Dr. Professor Jordan Peterson. You've got to join us.
Dr. Professor Jordan Peterson. We have good chats, don't we?
That was great.
Dr. Slavoj Žižek and Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toronto's Jordan Peterson.
Please welcome Jordan Peterson. Great pleasure to meet you.
He's undeniably one of the greatest intellectual phenomenons of our generation. Dr. Jordan Peterson's work as a clinical psychology professor at the University of Toronto has catapulted him to international fame with arguments that are challenging and changing the way we all think. Today, he is here, breaking down his provocative rules for life and the prescription for success that will surprise many of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for the invitation.
What is it that you're saying that's resonating with so many people?
Rule 12 is pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Rule 11 is don't bother children when they're skateboarding. Rule 10 is be precise in your speech. Rule 9, assume that the person that you're listening to knows something you don't. Rule 8, tell the truth or at least don't lie. Rule 7 is do what is meaningful and not what is expedient. Rule 6, put your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Rule 5 is don't let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Rule 4 is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And number 3, make friends with those people who want the best for you. And rule 2 is treat yourself like you're someone that you are responsible for helping. Rule 1 is stand up straight with your shoulders back.
The future looks bright. The future is exciting. Jordan sees himself at the forefront of a world historical transformation.
Massive technological transformation. A Gutenberg revolution in the provision of video and audio.
Yeah.
Online video on demand is a technology.
Correct.
And podcasts are a new technology, and they're major technology. There are other people who are occupying the same space. Joe Rogan is a very good example of that.
You fill up these gigantic theaters. I mean, I've seen some of the places. You and Sam just got done doing one.
Please put your hands together for Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris.
Each discussion I've had with Sam has been getting better.
Thank you, Jordan, for agreeing to do this. It's an honor to share the stage with you, and needless to say...
He and Sam Harris debate the nature of truth for 5 hours to a sold-out crowd.
We're trying to sort something out that's really, really difficult, and it's the relationship between facts and values. People have been arguing about this for 2,000 years. We ended up talking for about 2.5 hours each night.
That's a symptom of the effect of religious dogmatism for 2,000 years.
No, it's not. You already said we need intuitions to guide our interrelationship with facts. So the question is, what are the nature of these intuitions? And I'm saying some of those intuitions take the place of stories.
That's not an argument that it's now, in the 21st century, best captured by story and myth and religion.
I think of free discourse, like the discourse that we're engaged in, as the mechanism that corrects totalitarian excess or dogmatic excess.
Anti-woke intellectuals form an alliance, dubbed the Intellectual Dark Web in the New York Times.
Have to elevate the process by which...
Meet the renegades of the Intellectual Dark Web. An alliance of heretics is making an end run around the mainstream conversation. Should we be listening?
The New York Times has recently written about the rise of the so-called intellectual dark web. The thing that unites the people loosely grouped into that collection is that they are having serious conversations with an audience that they respect.
We're all part of the so-called intellectual dark web.
I believe the intellectual dark web is a diverse group of thinkers, interviewers, comedians, and academics.
We don't like identity politics. We want to have conversations with each other.
Many of the points we're making really aren't found anywhere inside of mainstream media.
When you take these positions, there's going to be a whole lot of people who are your new friends who are ready to have these conversations, which is why the sort of IDW term that Eric coined is so fascinating.
Me and Ben, we disagree on a lot of shit, but we're super friendly to each other.
Yeah.
Like when I do his show or he does I really enjoy that guy.
By the way,
I like him.
You do freaking Shapiro's show before my show?
Sorry.
What? The guy's had a show for 3 weeks.
I'll do a show.
Well, here we are on the Sunday special with Joe Rogan. We're going to jump into the interview in just a moment because this is awesome. But first, I want to say thanks to our sponsors over at Movement. So, Movement, they make these kinds of watches, right? It's nice. Go buy one.
Here are some things you will hear when you sit down to dinner with the vanguard of the intellectual dark web. There are fundamental biological differences between men and women. Free speech is under siege. Identity politics is a toxic ideology that is tearing American society apart.
How weird is this association to you? Because it's weird to me.
The IDW?
Yeah, the IDW. Just that.
Well, of course,
intellectual
I
dark
don't know
web.
what the hell it is. It's like I've been trying to puzzle it out. I mean, I think what it is a loose collection of early adopters of a revolutionary technology.
The IDW is mercilessly ridiculed by the left.
The intellectual dark web, a very nerdy name for a consortium of different wealthy academics and pundits.
They claim that it's not actually about their placement on the political spectrum, but that it's about something else.
You see all these guys just sort of keep going on their own shows with each other and nodding their head in agreement.
Yep. The left is too radical, and they're actively silencing us.
Right-wingers, supposed liberals like Brett Weinstein.
The whole thing got a certain amount of blowback from the left, and this theme in particular, that you've been pushed to the margins of society, was ridiculed because one of the identified members was Joe Rogan. Who among us would not kill to be on Joe Rogan's podcast? The difference between you and me is you have been.
Now the frog is a hate symbol.
It's hopeless if we cannot have discussions
about
in the
a
middle.
frog.
Yeah, about a cartoon frog.
A cartoon frog.
So maybe, just maybe, these thinkers are not being punished for their free thoughts.
How do you feel about being part of the IDW?
The international dork web. I'm the least mentioned, happily the least mentioned person in that group. I'm very happy about that.
But by whatever name, the IDW become Jordan's allies and friends who understand.
You are working to bring about hell on earth. That's real. So it isn't just that you have to fix up yourself so that, you can have a better life. It's like, who cares about you for a moment? It's you have to fix up your life, because if you don't, every time you make a mistake that you know to be a mistake, you're leading the world toward hell.
Get rid of the crazies on both ends and have an idea that fundamentally...
Or at least stop the crazies from taking out the reasonable people.
All sorts of ways to find ways to think about this that are deeper than the ones we've managed so far.
And though you are in the audience and we're on stage, we very much feel that this conversation is with all of you, and we know the conversation continues in your lives.
I don't consider myself brave. I am doing what I think is right. That is it. That really is it.
Peterson has 1 million YouTube subscribers. He has sold 1 million books. He has 500,000 Twitter followers. And he is a millionaire many times over.
This thing just levels up, and it feels more real, it feels more concrete. And we're all kind of growing together. Yeah. Although I got to tell you, man, we crossed 600,000 YouTube subscribers, I think, on the same day. You got like 1.2 right now. I'm almost at 800.
I'm stomping you, man. Yeah. Stomping you, good man.
I like competition. I do like competition.
Everything is so boring because it breaks down into Trump
boring
is an
and
a-hole.
chaotic.
Exactly. Right. Everything comes down to Trump is always right or Trump is always wrong, and we're all supposed to...
The whole Trump attack and Trump defense thing is really dull. I mean, you can list Trump's faults. It's like you and my crazy neighbor. It's like, why you're not bringing anything to the table doing that. The world's a rough place. There's no doubt about it. It's a harsh place. But my question is, what would happen if we stopped making it worse? How good could it be? It's like, aim at heaven. Tell the truth. Let's see what the hell happens. You want hell or you want heaven? If you pick hell, just remember, you knew what you were doing when you picked it.
Is any of this pressure and the scandal every 3 weeks, how are you feeling? Like when all
well,
this
I'm
is
feeling
going on,
stretched.
The quiet, private life that he once led has changed beyond recognition. He often curses the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. Yet at the ripe age of 56, he feels he is finally living the adventure of a lifetime.
Say what you believe to be true, then whatever happens is the best thing that could have happened. And I believe that.
So what is your advice beyond banal comments like clean your room?
There's certainly such a thing as deceit. So there must be such a thing as truth.
And some of it's just curiosity too. It's like, well, I'm going to say what I think and see what happens. That's an adventure.
Well, it's actually rather difficult to answer a question that ends with your comments are banal, politely. So, I would consider that more of an opinionated personal and political statement than actually a question.
That's the adventure of your life, really, and you don't want to miss that, because that's what you've got in your life, is for it to be an adventure. But it's not an easy road, it's a stormy sea.
Fuck white fragility! Fuck white fragility! Fuck Jordan Peterson! Fuck Jordan Peterson!
No freedom for hate speech.
What you have is the adventure of contending with God in the waves. That's what you have. And the way you do that is with truth. Then that sort of takes you out of the immediacy of the conflict. The conflict with whoever it is that you're talking to. You're trying to ally yourself with something that's deeper and more profound and more lasting. But I don't think that I am particularly consistently composed and confident. I think I have faith in the truth. It's not the same thing. And, I'm an emotional person. Obviously.
Let's catch up with Michaela.
Hello, and welcome to the Health and Wellness Show on the SOT Radio Network. We have a very special interview today. Welcome, Michaela.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. That's great. And listeners can probably hear Michaela's daughter, Scarlett, in the background, who will also be joining us today.
1 year after starting her diet, Michaela gives birth to a baby girl. Elizabeth Scarlett was born on the 6th of August, 2017. In this 2018 podcast, Michaela reflects on the transformative effect the diet has had on her life.
So TV Ontario, that's in Canada. I did a couple of episodes on that with Dad. One before the diet and one when I was just getting started. And the difference between me when I wasn't on the diet and when I was just getting started is drastic. And then the difference between when I was just getting started and now is drastic. Like, I look way healthier than I did when I was 20. I'm Michaela Peterson, mother, blogger. I was formerly dying, but I'm not anymore.
The hardest existential situation that I've been in is the situation with my daughter.
Michaela Peterson was born on January the 4th, 1992, and was her parents' first child.
I started exhibiting symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis when I was 2. Dad would put me on his shoulders, and when he put me back down, I'd cry and it'd sit down. And looking back on it, hip pain, I had a particularly bad arthritic flare when I was in grade 2, and my big toe swelled up, and Mom was like, "What is going on?"
40 affected joints.
37 joints affected. I was diagnosed with arthritis when I was 7. My joints were deteriorating, my skin was deteriorating, like I was deteriorating.
Brutal, daily
excruciating pain.
I was allergic to everything.
We were really running around trying to figure out what to do about
These
it.
are some of my medications. Adderall, Tylenol 3, Dapsone, that's an antibiotic, that was for the rash.
More medication than you can shake a stick at.
Enbrel was for arthritis.
Enbrel really helped, but later opened to bacterial infections, so she always had pneumonia in the fall.
And at the same time, we had moved cities from Boston to Toronto, and I started getting horrible depression that's just been passed down.
There's been a lot of depression in our family.
It's hell.
Brutal beyond belief.
I would choose arthritis a million times over.
The suffering is unbearable.
You have a whole bunch of anxieties pop up.
I'm absolutely no use whatsoever to anyone.
That's all you can think of, all the time.
It would be better for everyone if I was just gone. Sorry.
When I was 14, I started getting tired. So I started sleeping more and more, and I was just exhausted all the time. It didn't go away, it just got worse. And by the time I was like 19 or 20, I was just sleeping whenever I could.
Watching his daughter fall into depression affects Jordan's own mental health.
And when I was a kid, I had a bitch of a time waking up in the morning. I think there are times when people are so depressed that there isn't anything that anyone can do. I've had depression since I was 13 probably, and very severe. When I took this antidepressant first, it was an indescribable relief. I could feel muscles in my body relax that probably hadn't relaxed for 15 years. I thought, I will never stop taking this, ever.
And you have not?
No.
I'm on antidepressants now, and I don't know how anybody in my family would have really survived without them.
Circa 2012, both father and daughter swore by antidepressants. But as we have heard, in 2016, Michaela gets off all her medications thanks to her miraculous new diet.
My name's Michaela Peterson. I'm a 27-year-old mother of a beautiful 2-year-old daughter. I'm the CEO of 2 companies, and I'm the creator of the Lion Diet. Super thin. I don't bother cutting the jerky, I don't marinate it. Literally, I lay it on here and add salt.
Beef, salt, water. That's it. Nothing else.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I did a whole bunch of research for about 3 years trying to figure out my skin problems. Came to the conclusion that gluten is really bad for you. Cut out gluten.
Cut out like dairy.
Eggs made me bloat.
Most grains, soy.
And she's been eating that way for 3 years. I'm serious. And
That's
she
the only
never cheats.
Wow.
Never.
Following in her father's footsteps, Michaela becomes a food influencer on YouTube and Instagram.
Jane Ellen 3 says, how did you decide what to feed Scarlett? So I only breastfed for 8 months. And then we started incorporating little bits of meat and fat. Tried to talk to doctors about it. They didn't believe me. Hi, you want a piece of jerky? Okay. BBL GMSD asks, do you have cheat days? If so, what do you eat? I cheat with Wagyu steak. I don't eat any plants. Ever. I do drink bourbon and vodka.
This is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hopefully this isn't overcooked. And
Eric_M_production asks, how often does your dad call/text? He's a super busy guy, so I'm curious. He calls me probably 4 times a day because like I said, I'm running his business and controlling everything. Nemilar asks, best steakhouse in Toronto. I really like Harbor 60.
As we have heard, in 2016, Jordan joins Michaela in her carnivore diet.
You must have to get a lot of fat.
Michaela is buying fat directly from the butcher store, and we cook that up, cut it into small pieces and fry it up till it's crispy.
Wow.
It's actually quite delicious.
You're so slim. Your stomach is completely flat.
I'm a lean, mean fighting machine,
Yeah,
man. First of all, I didn't know I had 50 pounds to lose. Like, I really liked sweets. I kind of lived on peanut butter sandwiches and chocolate milk.
2015 to 2016, he went from 218 to 160. He lost a whole bunch of weight.
Jesus, I had to throw all my clothes away.
He had gum disease that got better. He had psoriasis that got better. And his depression started to get better. So he went off of the antidepressants.
Often thought about Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve. What you have there is a kind of paradise where everything's really going well. But there's always snakes in those paradises. And the reason for that is just because things are going well doesn't mean you've accounted for everything. Kind of weird, eh? Little bitty chaos turns into a great big monster. And partly that's because everything that looks separate from everything else isn't. Step away from it and see what its true nature really is.
Peterson, do you have any comments on the Nazi presence at your protest?
I'm non-binary and transgender, and I know how it's felt to be on the U of T campus for the last month.
You've accused him of abusing students by not using the pronouns they want to be addressed by.
That's how I see it, absolutely.
Jordan's newfound fame causes him elevated levels of stress. He is fearful for his livelihood, his reputation, and his freedom. In December, he collapses at the family dining table and is bedbound for a month.
I couldn't get up without fainting. I'd faint, fall to the floor. Every time I got up, I couldn't get warm. I was wearing multiple layers of clothes and multiple layers of blankets, and I couldn't get warm, and I didn't want to move.
Michaela believes that his sudden symptoms were caused by impurities in his diet.
I think it was sulfites in apple cider in a stew I made.
I was done for a month.
You were done for a month?
Oh yeah, it took me out for a month. It was awful. That month, I didn't sleep for 25 days. I didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep at all for 25 days.
And you didn't sleep for like 24 days?
Yeah.
So that's not even possible. Like, you would be dead.
That's what it felt like. The itching came back, and the doom came in.
It produced an overwhelming sense of impending doom. The food reaction made me acutely and continually anxious. My physician prescribed me a benzodiazepine. I continued it for 3 years because my life did seem stressful during that time, and because I believed that this drug was harmless. My life was an absolute whirlwind at that time.
He got what we thought was 15 minutes of fame.
I'm making this video because I don't really know what else to do.
It just expanded.
It was a very stressful time, and the benzodiazepines allowed me to sleep again. They were prescribed for 2 a day, and I just took them.
I'm running my dad's companies, which is a full-time job.
There was one day he had events from 3 a.m. to 1 a.m.
I was at the epicenter of this incredible controversy, and there were journalists around me constantly and students demonstrating, and it was a very hectic time.
I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest.
I was extraordinarily busy. 16 hours a day, flat out, 7 days a week for, well, right until Tammy went into the hospital.
Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer at the end of April.
Hi there, Tammy Peterson here.
She had a total kidney removal. Then there was a surgical complication.
You know, it was just every bloody day was a life and death crisis for like 5 months. I asked my physician to increase my dose of benzodiazepine so that I would not be preoccupied by my anxiety. But I started to react to it in a paradoxical manner. It seemed to be making me more anxious rather than less. I went to the best treatment clinic in North America, and all they did was make it worse. I tried a slow taper on the benzodiazepines, and I couldn't do it.
Jordan passes in and out of hospitals for months. Tammy makes a miraculous recovery, yet Jordan's situation only deteriorates. By the end of the year, Michaela grows impatient with the doctors.
Michaela and Andre removed me from the Toronto hospital in early January 2020, believing that the treatment I received there was doing me more harm than good. The situation I found myself in upon reattaining consciousness in Russia was complicated by the fact that I had also developed double pneumonia. As I later learned, I was there so that the clinic could facilitate my withdrawal from benzodiazepines using a procedure either unknown or regarded as too dangerous in North America.
Although your family members love you, they're not trained, qualified medics. Why would you put yourself in their hands and not the medical profession's hands?
I had put myself in the hands of the medical profession, and the consequence of that was that I was going to die. I was confused and frustrated, not knowing where I was, surrounded by people speaking a foreign language. I was angry, too, about being there, and lunged at my daughter when she did visit several hours later. From December 16th to February 5th, I don't remember anything at all. The clinic placed me in a medically induced coma for 9 days. On January 14th, I was taken off the anesthetic and the intubation. On January 23rd, I was moved to another ICU, 10 days during which I passed through a period of delirium of vivid intensity. Dream-like hallucination that I had been kidnapped by this little gang. The leader was going to kill me because he wanted to impress his girlfriend.
Dad is on the mend, even though there's a lot of physiological damage that he needs to recover from.
I came out of that clinic worse than when I went in. Michaela, Elizabeth Scarlett, and I relocated to Florida for what we hoped would be some peaceful time of recuperation in the sun after the cold grayness of midwinter Moscow. In Florida, I attempted to wean off the medication prescribed by the Moscow clinic, while the symptoms I was experiencing grew unbearable. I mean, in Florida, the best I ever got was not petrified with anxiety, but close to it. 3 months after leaving Russia, it had become obvious that I was worsening instead of improving. Michaela had been in touch with a Serbian clinic that practiced a novel approach to the problem of benzodiazepine withdrawal, and they made arrangements to move me there after the pandemic closure.
From June to October 2020, he resides as a patient in Serbia. 10 weeks into his treatment in Serbia, he appears on Michaela's new podcast, his first public appearance in a year.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, kiddo.
What the hell happened, eh?
What happened? I had been taking benzodiazepines since 2016. I developed symptoms that I now recognized were associated with its use. A feeling of detachment from people. You're quite a monster, and it would be better for your kids if they didn't get on your bad side. Some decrease in the ability to experience joy. And I'm a very dark guy in some ways.
You think of yourself as dark? Because I don't.
Good. Increased dose makes anxiety worse instead of better.
So we spent time in Russia.
Well, you guys took a big risk taking me out of the hospital in Toronto, which nobody recommended. The psychiatrists certainly weren't in favor of it. My hands had been secured to the side of the bed because apparently I was tearing out the tubes that I was connected to because I didn't want to be in the hospital. I had no idea why I was in the hospital or where the hospital was or where anybody I knew was.
We had to back up a bit again. Like our whole family had sat down and agreed that the best option was this rapid detox in Moscow.
I remember being really angry with you when you first showed up.
It was like, oh my God, we brought Dad to Moscow and destroyed him.
Well, that's what the doctor told you, wasn't it? The first,
when we first got
said
they said, why are you here of all places? Andre said, there was no one to help him in the West. And she said, great, you've brought him here to die.
Surreal.
Managed to stabilize you, but it was...
Yeah, to some degree. I couldn't type because I couldn't remember how to put my hands on the keyboard. I couldn't walk up and down stairs because I couldn't see the stairs properly. I couldn't do up buttons. And then we went to Florida where we thought it would be sunny and easier to recover. But when I was in Florida, my anxiety levels were unbearably high.
We did look everywhere and it's been very complicated.
Yes, that's for sure.
And
it's been very complicated. I can feel the tremors in my forehead. So we should probably stop talking.
Yeah, okay. We can call it a day.
Yes.
Thanks for being here. It's been a hell of a year.
Thanks for your help, too. What I've been doing hasn't been fundamentally political, even though it's been cast that way. I've been trying to help people. I've been trying to point out to people that they need a profound meaning in their life because their lives are difficult. And without a sustaining meaning, then you can become bitter. And that's a bad outcome. I think it's...
Yeah, go on.
Well, I think I've had this incredible view into the suffering of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and I can't go out without people coming up to me. You don't have conversations like that often outside of the clinical sphere, and you certainly don't have them repeatedly with strangers on the street. Part of what's overwhelming to me is how it's direct evidence for how little encouragement so many people get. They're starving. Sorry.
How are things? How you doing?
Increasingly better. I'm working quite effectively for 3 hours a day now, up from 0.
Jordan, it's so nice to have you back in the public sphere.
I've missed you, as very many people have.
I've missed being around.
Would you consider yourself happy today?
No.
When's the last time you were happy?
I was happy a little bit last week for a couple of hours. I have a lot of neurological damage and it produces quite a lot of pain.
He lends his platform to the victims of cancellation.
I personally found it amazing that my university, my employer, did not call me to tell me what was happening.
You're not sure exactly who you offended or how many of them there are, and you're not exactly sure why you offended them.
No.
You lost your job.
Yeah.
So, these are high stakes games.
He talks to critics of cancel culture from many walks of life.
My problem with cancel culture at the moment is I'm slightly suspicious it might be the new burning book.
A lot of what we call cancel culture today.
Yeah.
We have to have a world in which we are able to grow and evolve.
Yes, because otherwise we're all doomed.
Right?
We continue to fracture.
Forced to choose between one side or another.
A huge number of people, including me, totally agree with you, and many, many of them are just too frightened to say so.
Yet even for Jordan, some topics feel off limits.
I've had guests on my show, like Abigail Schreier, who wrote a book on gender reassignment surgery. And I was very nervous about having the discussion.
There is virtually no medical oversight of this process.
At 15, I got a double mastectomy.
Young teenage girls who do not seem to have typical gender dysphoria immediately fast-track towards transition.
They kept affirming that I was somehow intrinsically male and that would solve all my problems. And then once I matched the outward appearance of a male and I didn't feel better, they had no answers for me.
I see. Okay. When enough sensors operate in your head, then you can no longer think. And if you can no longer think, well, then you can't see and you're blind, and that's not good.
Jordan removes the sensors in his mind. He declares war on the progressive principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI.
DIE must die. When does the left go too far? When they worship at the altar of die and insist that the rest of us do so as well. Enough already. Enough. Enough.
We will be tabling a bill in the House of Commons to ensure the full protection of transgender people.
We're being run by naive, moralistic children.
We're a country built on diversity.
It's like we are children. We can't have a serious discussion about these things.
The Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau! Do I have to curtsy?
I see an actor, not a real boy.
His Christian faith deepens, and God speaks to him.
Love, even unto your enemy, which is yourself. God, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. May what is highest guide our vision. May what is highest open our ears. May what is highest guide our tongues. And may we pray, fearful of the hell we could so easily and carelessly create.
What are the seeds you sown that left you so alone? You should be doing swell. You could have built a home, but now you're on your own. You should be acting well. You should climb off your throne and see what you've been shown. You might think this is hell. I can't see this playing out now. You should be going home. You should be acting well. You should be waking up.
Deliver us from evil. Shine a light into the corners of our dark hearts. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Do we want revenge or justice? Do we want contempt or mercy? Do we want war or peace? And what are you aiming at in your heart of hearts?
I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn.
I see even the best of men degenerating into the exchange of blows.
You should be doing well.
I see even the best of men identifying the enemy in our neighbors and friends. I see even the best of men falling prey to cowardice and self-righteous anger. It needs to stop. I need to stop. I recently resigned from my position as full tenured professor at the University of Toronto. I loved my job. But that career path was not meant to be. I can now teach many more people and with less interference online. I recently joined forces with the Daily Wire in a new venture they call Daily Wire Plus. I like the unabashedly capitalist ethos of the Daily Wire crew. They made me a great deal financially. DW Plus is not woke. Help us continue educating and informing and battling on the side of tradition in the raging culture war. Go, if you would, to dailywireplus.com.
You know you bad when you can post from any angle. Push it, click, click, yeah.
Sorry, not beautiful. And no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that.
Keep it up. It's me. I win.
This guy's a professor.
Not everyone's healthy. And no, not everyone is a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, period. And fuck you if you don't like it. That's basically what I thought about that. I certainly didn't think it would cause as much trouble as it did. You know, when people were on my case for being mean, it's like, yeah, I know, I'm always mean.
Friends attempt to intervene.
She's a 25-year-old woman. When you make that comment, are you enticing men to act like pigs to women?
I might be encouraging them to not respect the things I'm saying because I'm being incautious.
Okay.
But it's the consequences.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, look, you had your psychological problems, whatever they might be. I'm not going to argue.
His response to the Twitter ban spawns many a meme.
A few days ago, I penned an irritated tweet.
What did you say?
Ellen Page just had her breasts removed by a criminal physician.
What's wrong with you?
I've essentially been banned from Twitter, although technically I have been suspended. I should at least know exactly what I did wrong if I am required to acknowledge that my tweet violated the Twitter rules.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
But I'm not taking down that tweet or acknowledging that my tweet violated the Twitter rules. Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who. She displayed her new body in a public forum and got 1.7 million Instagram likes for it, and probably enticed, well, let's say one young girl who's confused into becoming sterile.
He is having a breakdown.
Just straight up posting some transphobic content on Maine.
Pride had been recognized as perhaps the cardinal sin for thousands of years previously. It still might be regarded as unacceptable to the woke authoritarian moralists who now insist that we celebrate Pride Month.
Part of what was hard for me with the pride comment you made for Elliot Page was it was like, you have pride.
Evil flourishes when good men stand aside.
You don't want to run around accusing people of pride.
Jordan Peterson has slowly morphed into this weird right-wing grifty culture war figure.
You're not a big tough guy, you're not a big man. You are a pathetic little fucking baby.
I've actually watched a lot of your lectures. Mm-hmm. I've listened to hours of you and Joe Rogan talking about stuff.
You've been on this diet now for 5 years?
Yeah.
And it's just meat?
Yes.
Any fruit?
I started to eat some other foods, but my daughter convinced me to stop that entirely again.
But does she eat organ meat?
No, she eats lamb.
That's it?
Yes.
not beef anymore?
No.
Okay.
I don't see the devil that some people try and portray you as. A lot of people seem to have drawn an opinion about us based on what they've seen in a tiny clip.
What rules, you sons of bitches? Exactly. Precisely. I would rather die than do that. The hateful tweet in question.
Stop. It was hateful. You're angry. You're hateful.
If you don't agree with what I say, you're going to get shamed, vilified, cancelled, fired, maybe even imprisoned. That is actually what fascist regimes do.
The fascists are more straightforward about it. The compassionate types, they come out and say, well, we're really trying to save the world, and we're acting in everyone's best interest, and we think it would be better if you should just regulate what you say.
You want to be openly transphobic and endanger people's lives.
Targeting vulnerable populations among students on campus.
Purposefully anti-trans nonsense.
Using his old name just to be offensive.
Crying because he can't further bully trans people on a fucking private platform, man.
Dude is a fucking mess.
You are mentally unwell.
Utterly vicious.
Yeah.
You're a hateful little bitch-ass fucking loser dork. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you.
Ultimately, what is your goal? What do you hope to achieve through what is now global fame?
Jordan is on a quest.
The purpose of your life is not going to be happiness. There will be difficult periods in your life, and happiness won't suffice then. But what you can have in your life is an adventure.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Thank you for joining us.
This quest will be an adventure for the truth.
If it's you and your voice, then it's your adventure. And if it isn't, then I don't know whose adventure you're having, but it's not yours.
Step 1. Start a non-woke university.
I've been collecting professors and educators from all around the world, and we're hoping that we can provide people a very low-cost alternative to a bachelor's degree. And I think we can do it.
Peterson Academy will be a university made in his image.
What I'm hoping to do is to find the best lecturers in the world. We want to bring you the highest quality education possible at the lowest possible price.
It's extremely high-level content that anybody can use to educate themselves, and it's available to everybody.
Well, that would be good.
But he is only getting started. To complete his quest, he requires allies in high places.
What were your thoughts after meeting Elon Musk?
What do you say about someone who built a functional electric car and then shot it into space on a rocket? Pretty damn good joke.
You guys interact a fair bit on Twitter.
We seem to, yeah. I would like to have you as a guest on my YouTube channel.
What would you like to talk about?
Because he's an amazing person, and God only knows what's up with him, all things considered.
The billionaire strode into Twitter's headquarters this week, holding a kitchen sink.
The bird is free.
And for half the people who work there, they were let go today, finding out by email that they no longer have a job.
Today is your last working day at the company, and signed simply, Twitter.
I found that my work laptop was remotely wiped.
I am back. Thanks, Elon Musk.
What do you make of Elon Musk? You've spoken about him a bit.
I'm struck with admiration. I've been preparing to talk to you for a long time, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Musk is himself a sworn enemy of DEI.
It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
And for him, it's personal.
It happened to one of my older boys. So my son Xavier is dead. Killed by the woke mind virus.
I look pretty good for a dead bitch.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like. I am off to see Joe Rogan this Friday, and I have a major announcement to make.
You have a two-tone suit going on.
Can
You're
I tell
a
you about
wild
this
man.
suit?
Please do.
Okay, well...
What's happening with that?
Company made this for me. They made me a dozen suits.
Yeah?
One for each rule from 12 Rules for Life.
Ah.
And in here you've got your basic heaven lining and your basic hell lining.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
I don't think I've ever seen a man
Sheep's-
walk around with a... I think you're one up.
Am I one up?
Yeah, you're one up.
It's double-breasted.
Double-breasted.
Yeah, fancy. I tweeted out, I don't know if you saw this, that I was going to make an announcement on your show today.
Step 2. Build an ark.
And so I set up an international consortium based in London. ARC is our movement into the future. That's the story of each of us, at least at some points in our life. We'll be pushed beyond the limits of our tolerance. We'll be pushed to ask ourselves, how can we possibly go on? We have the responsibility to face an uncertain future with courage.
ARC promotes human reproduction.
We must promote personal responsibility and policies that allow families to thrive.
The digital destruction of childhood is a crisis we must face.
Family, community, and country. They're the things that matter to me above absolutely everything.
The Alliance for Responsible Citizenship has been called together to begin the challenging work of pushing back on the failed visions that currently plague the West.
At ARC, we believe it is time to claim back what has been stolen.
And we can remember who we are. We can remember who we are. And that's what this conference was for, to remind people.
With the wild success of ARC, he now steers the direction of conservative thought worldwide.
What are the values of paramount importance to the conservative temperament, currently crying out for rediscovery? A small number of rivers carry most of the world's water. A small number of cities have the majority of people. A small number of stars have most of the mass. A small number of highly productive people account for most of the production and progress, something deeply and mysteriously built into the structure of natural reality itself.
His influence is now immeasurable, extending even to the leaders of nations.
And now they say to us, in unimaginable chutzpah, they say, you don't belong here. They're saying, you have no right for a Jewish state. It's ridiculous.
Jordan Peterson and I traveled to the Holy Land to film content that will only be available for our subscribers. We also had the privilege of sitting down with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
How are you? This is going to be fun.
You don't want to miss it. It's only available on Daily Wire Plus. Join now to get access.
If we don't make it now, we'll never make it.
It's all happening right here. Join us now.
We have breaking news out of Israel this morning. At least 2,500 rockets were launched from Gaza starting at dawn. The attack is already blamed for hundreds of injuries and multiple deaths.
נכה באימת חורמה וננקום בעוצמה על היום השחור הזה שהם עוללו למדינת ישראל ולאזרחיה.
Give him hell, Netanyahu. Enough is enough.
His influence now extends to the very top of the Republican Party.
When we talked, you struck me as a man who could be trusted.
I'm humbled by your kind words. My respect for you is boundless, and I'm grateful for those words. I'll share them with my wife.
Choice among parents is the primary target in relationship to educational reform.
I think you put your finger on something that is extraordinarily important if you're going to reform
our national education system.
Let's talk about the Department of Education. Now, you've been very interested in educational reforms. I'm curious about what consequences that might have for your actions on the federal level.
We'd like to just eliminate that department entirely.
I will lay off over 75% of the federal employee bureaucrat headcount by the end of the first term, 50% by the end of the first year.
Who dares, after all, wins.
So after much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today.
The major shakeup in the race for president. Former Governor Chris Christie dropping out of the race.
I'm suspending my campaign tonight.
We are going to suspend this presidential campaign.
Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
I'm suspending my campaign activities.
I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
They took a shot at my hero.
Joe Rogan endorsing Donald Trump.
You know, you're on Joe Rogan today. People are telling me, like I said, what you've done here is amazing.
President Joe Biden has just announced that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race.
The momentum behind Trump is undeniable. Peterson will thus bring his quest to its endgame. 7 days before the election, he posts a video titled Trump's X-Men.
I would vote for Trump as president just because Musk has agreed to play a role in any new administration that Trump might bring about.
Come on up here, Elon. Take over, Elon. Just take over.
1 in a billion, high in general cognitive ability. A true genius.
Hi, everyone.
Elon Musk poured nearly $75 million into backing Republicans through his America PAC.
I'm not just MAGA, I'm Dark MAGA.
Someone like Musk playing a key role in the governance of the greatest show on earth is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's an adventure by anyone's standards. Mr. Robert F. Kennedy, fearless and dedicated. J.D. Vance, likely to be a steadying managerial hand, balancing the dangerous brilliance of some of the other members. Tulsi Gabbard, she is no giggling girl. She's solid, patriotic, and tough. It doesn't hurt as well that she is the epitome of feminine grace and attractiveness. Wonder Woman indeed. Vivek Ramaswamy, like Musk, Kennedy, and Gabbard, cognitively gifted. Complex jobs require highly intelligent people to manage them. The current situation in the US and abroad is not normal, and something out of the box may well be necessary in consequence. Finally, most importantly, wouldn't it be, in a word, fun?
Trump is victorious. Jordan is jubilant.
What do you make of it? I mean, they're calling it the Avengers. What do you make of his picks?
He's proved himself willing to share the stage with all of these other remarkable people. He has RFK, he has Musk, Ramaswamy, Vance. These are formidable people. Tulsi Gabbard as well. Those are the people you surround yourself with if you're out on a quest.
Restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
This is what victory feels like. Yeah!
Musk is a good man.
Thank you.
Or at least a complicated man. trying very hard to be good.
Musk infiltrating the federal bureaucracy at rapid speed through his newly formed Department of Government Efficiency and its crusade to slash government spending.
The chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Doge gained access into at least 15 federal agencies.
America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done.
Could Musk do to the American deep state what he did for Twitter?
And we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy.
Could he prune and cut so the republic could revitalize? Stranger things have happened in the course of human history.
What we're seeing here is the thrashing of bureaucracy as we try to restore democracy and the will of the people.
Schools are full of woke teachers. Like, it's a pervasive problem.
We were trying to figure out this whole accreditation process, which is a complete nightmare. Accreditors are woke, like completely woke.
Our country will be woke no longer.
The faculties of education are not credible academic institutions. Faculties of education are among the most, if not the most, ideologically corrupt and incompetent of all the university disciplines.
Trump is moving to dismantle the Department of Education.
DEI staff on leave. Employees ordered to remove pronouns from their signatures. Diversity inclusion programs shuttered.
Democratic members of Congress were blocked from entering the department's headquarters.
The faculties of education have a hammerlock on half the state budgets.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon fired about half of the agency's staff. Trump says the changes will be swift.
Faculties of education have a hammerlock on teacher certification. The faculties of education should be stripped of their monopoly on teacher certification.
The Supreme Court recently cleared the way for the Trump administration to cancel roughly $65 million in federal education grants linked to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Trump signing a number of executive orders yesterday.
One related to the college accreditation process, potentially looking at the reform of that.
We're charging the Department of Education to really look holistically at this accreditation mess and hopefully make it much better.
And this pretty much does it, right?
Yes, sir.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who. Adventure is the most compelling pathway. If it's intense enough, it justifies the suffering. It's a reason to get up in the morning, even if you're in pain. Man, I tell you, those riots that used to gather around me, the women were pretty bad. Harpy city, man. And this self-righteous, feminine, toxic compassion just screeching at the top of its lungs. But the men that were with them, oh my God, I didn't want to be within 3 feet of them.
Your words hurt my ears. My snowflake ears are hurt by your hard words.
The administration took over the universities. Then the woke mob parasitized the administration. And here we are. I worked at Harvard. It was a great place. I'm not happy at all that these institutions have become what they've become. Radical feminization of the institutions, weakness on the part of the men who should have been guardian of the gates. Is it repairable? I don't think so.
So something needs to emerge, like your academy.
It already is emerging, right? Because the universities, they're terrible. They're terrible. We got the best professors. 32 hours of original content a month. And so
you've designed it for online versus just having a PowerPoint.
100%, right. We have a plan mapped out. It looks great, and that's because it's great. Michaela and her husband, they watch the social media, they watch the look, they watch the ads.
A new 2.0 version of higher learning. Doesn't cost very much. The old way of doing things clearly isn't working. We need new solutions.
We want to translate it into multiple languages, because wouldn't it be lovely to offer that to the developing world?
Sure.
With free market economics instead of Marxist economics? That'd be great for Africa. Then maybe everybody could be rich. If we aim up and we speak the words of truth that make good order out of chaos, anything's possible.
Beautiful. Always enjoy this. Always enjoy our conversations. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate our friendship. It's been great knowing you all these years and watching this crazy journey that you've been on. I'm glad you're doing great.
Yeah, Joe. Same thing for you, man.